Welcome back to In the News with the Post and Courier. I'm Warren Pepper. They're called earth balls, and one man passing through Charleston says they're the future of low-income housing.
Like in the low country here, these will float. You know, you get a hurricane, the water comes in, or a flood. And that's the key to it for low-income housing. Habitat for Humanity have been working with some of them down in New Orleans, and they're kind of getting susceptible to this idea of this kind of a habitat for people down there because that floods quite often. So anyway, that's the reason for this. It's a different way to live on the planet that uses less of our resources, and it pollutes less.
This is made out of wood, basically, right?
2x4s, yep, pressure treated 2x4s, and 3/4 inch plywood on the bottom.
You can see the rest of the floating earthball story by logging on to thepostandcourier.com. Low-country guards at the Charleston County Detention Center have a new line of defense. Several officers have gone through a tactical training program called SOG, or Special Operations Group. Guards dressed in helmets, Kevlar vests, holding Mossberg shotguns may be the Low-Country's new line of defense at the new jail. And one Low-Country guard stands out. In the last 12 years of this training nationwide, only 2 other females have finished the course. The 3rd female graduate just finished right here in Charleston. The renovations of Dock Street Theater have just finished up, and this beautiful Charleston landmark will reopen in May, just in time for the Spoleto Festival. As for the Spoleto Festival this year, the official rundown of performers and events has been completed, and you can log on to postandcourier.com to see the Spoleto Festival 2010 rundown. Between now and Spoleto, a lot happening in and around Charleston. That's why we're glad to always have preview editor Marcus Amaker with us each week to talk about the preview section and what is being highlighted there. Marcus?
Yes, but besides the cold weather, you mean?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You find that a lot of places.
Yeah, there's a really good band coming into town, the Carolina Chocolate Drops.
Yes.
They're an African-American bluegrass band, and they're coming to the Poorhouse, and they are phenomenal. I saw them once live, and they're coming back here. They have a new album coming out in February, so I think they're going to play a lot of newer stuff. So
the cover story this week's on photography, isn't it? Or at least an event kind of highlighting that.
Well, it's actually the Charleston Center for Photography, which is downtown on King Street. They had a pretty tough year last year in 2009, and so we just wanted to talk to them and see what they had planned for the new year. There's a lot of stuff that they have going on, and we just sort of just let the public know that they're still committed and doing a lot of cool things.
All right.
So.
Could be a little chilly for this event, but the Trot for the Cure is on the horizon.
Yeah, I believe it's the 6th annual Trot for the Cure, and it's benefiting and raising awareness for cancer in dogs. So there's going to be a lot of events around it. Usually it's just the walk with the dogs, but they've incorporated a lot more entertainment stuff and dogs dancing and contests and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's Sunday.
All right.
So.
Tell me about Restaurant Week in Charleston.
Yeah, this is definitely the week to go out to eat if you want to get some good food in town. I think it's January 11th through the 17th. It's a statewide thing where they highlight local restaurants, and a lot of restaurants around town like 82 Queen and Hall's Chop House, they're doing a lot of specials. We have a whole list of the restaurants in preview this week.
All right, well, there's never a bad week to go out to eat in
that's
Charleston.
True. Definitely true.
You can kind of plan accordingly. Before we wrap the segment up, I know there's something on the horizon for the preview section. Just kind of give me an overview of what we'll see maybe in some weeks ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to give too many secrets out, but definitely we're going to change our format, but still promote and write about everything that we've been writing about now, but it's going to get a lot better. I don't want to let all the secrets out yet. But
so it's still a work
within
that's
the next
progress, and we'll find out more about that in the weeks and maybe a couple of months to come.
Yeah, within the next few months, it's going to be a bigger and better.
Very good. How definitive was that? All right, good. So something to look for coming up in the Post and Courier. All right, Marcus Amaker, preview section editor. Thank you, Marcus. Be sure to look for preview, of course, every Thursday in the Post and Courier. Time now to visit the Marina Variety Store. You ever been there for a good old breakfast or just for lunch? It's pretty good eating, and it's this week's profiled on Lowcountry Marketplace.
Tell me about the variety store.
Well, Warren, in 1967, my father took over the Marina Variety Store from maybe here, and we were over in the rice mill. And as time progressed, we just saw a need for a family-owned restaurant, and 42 years later, here we are.
Still pretty much the same menu, the things that were popular then still are pretty popular?
I think that's what kept us in business is the original family recipes we brought and keeping it that way. You know, we do a few things change-wise, but yes, original recipes.
And I know you still do a pretty big breakfast business on top of just the stuff the rest of the day.
Very much so. Very much so. Especially on the weekends with the brunch.
Mm-hmm. I've seen doctors, lawyers, all walks of life, and then families as well.
Correct. You being one of them.
Yeah,
a loyal customer of that. Yes, we get all walks of life in.
The staples here, as far as you said, all right, this is my signature dish. If you don't have anything else, what has somebody got to have if they walk in the variety store?
My shrimp and grits.
Yeah.
My shrimp and grits. I get my grits milled out of North Carolina. I've been cooking it for 30 years, and I think it's some of the best this side of Mississippi.
And what separates you? I mean, everybody does shrimp and grits in the Low Country, don't they?
Everybody has their own version. It's very good. That's what makes the Low Country popular. But just staying consistent with it, doing it the same way every day, not changing it. Can't tell you what I'm going to put in it.
For more on the Marina Variety Store and other area businesses, just go to lowcountrymarketplace.com. The president tells the country there was a deep failure of national intelligence when a terrorist failed to carry out a bombing on Christmas Day on a flight near Detroit. The information was there, but the government couldn't connect the dots. The only thing that stopped more than 200 people from dying in the air, and who knows how many more down below, was that the bomb in the terrorist underwear malfunctioned. Security is much tougher now, but tougher guidelines aren't going to make any difference either if we don't pay attention to the red flags. There were plenty in this case, but there's such concern over profiling or violating somebody's privacy. I'm not sure we Americans still totally understand the depth of hatred some folks in the world have for us. This is really not an attempt at humor, but if a guy will put a bomb in his underwear, how do you fight that? For starters, you've got to pay attention to the intel you have. All the dots that should be connected and all the red flags that could be waving will never make a difference if we don't look and listen to what's right in front of us. Will we soon have to go to full body searches for every passenger? Maybe. It's as clear as the bomb in your underwear. Thanks for joining us for another edition of In the News. I'm Warren Pepper.